pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Minutes from the last meeting?
Look good to me.
Look good to me. Move to approve?
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
No Ryan today, huh?
Say again?
No Ryan?
All right, isn't he out of town?
Maybe. Vacation? He went on vacation about 3 weeks ago. No, that was a month ago.
Probably vacation.
Our last meeting, he was leaving,
Yeah.
the next day.
Got it.
That's based on the YouTube, I know. Okay. Ryan is not present.
It's just YouTube, not the YouTube.
Huh?
The YouTube?
Oh, the
The-
YouTube
the Facebook?
stream. The YouTube stream.
No, I'm just kidding.
Is that like in California where they say the 10 and the 20 and
The 24.
and the I, yeah, the 101? All right, Brad.
Did a few things. The Hummer is back in town.
Good.
Was towed in last week.
Is it? Have any assessment on the damage?
Neil said that when Randy took it up there 5 years ago, that it needed, the alternator had caught on fire. So right now it doesn't have an alternator or batteries. So
Oh.
he said besides that, he goes, I don't know what's wrong with it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Anyway, it was, Parker's towed it out to the shop for us the other
Okay.
day. John was already out looking at it, so I'm sure.
Did they charge us for that? I thought I got an invoice, but it was nothing.
Free.
Oh, okay.
They still invoice, but they do law enforcement free,
Okay, gotcha.
since they tow for the whole county. Our officer is on, he started, his physical therapy. So I think this is week 3 of when he, had surgery. We don't have we've kind of talked about a light duty, like he could do some stuff in the office, like to get him back on the payroll.
John.
I've got some stuff to keep him busy, but I don't know if I could keep him busy for 40 hours a week. The other side of that, we don't have a light duty policy. And I don't know if the city does. As far as police department, we don't have one.
It's a good question.
We should
like-
have. We should have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We can look.
Have you looked through the Woodburn Police Department SOGs?
Yes.
There's
Yeah.
nothing in there. Okay.
Everything but.
Okay. All right.
But my thing is, that if I bring it, I don't wanna get to that point until, I know that like, if I give him 2 weeks of light duty, if we choose to do that or whatever, that the 3rd week he's gonna come back on the streets, because I don't have enough for him to do just sitting there for 40 hours a week. Off the bat I do, we have our evidence needs inventoried, stuff that we can get rid of, which that's a lot of phone calls and emails to the prosecutor's office. So I can have him work on that, but
Okay.
other than,
What's the prognosis on being able to go full duty? Do you know?
it was 6 to 8 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks from
Yeah.
the surgery.
Yeah, but he has to get released by his doctor.
Okay. When did he have the surgery?
2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago. Okay. All right.
2 weeks?
2 weeks ago. So, like I said, we we have to figure out if we do have a light duty, if the city has a light duty policy. I know we don't have one, but, and I'm not saying that's what we wanna do, I just, you know, we kinda were shooting things back and forth and.
I don't see anything on here that has it.
Do you have a copy of the police SOGs?
I do not.
You do? I'll give you a copy of that also.
Our final reserve, Rebecca, she resigned. She owns her own company, and she's getting busier. Plus, she took a full-time job somewhere, I think, in Tra, because she was working there part-time, so she couldn't commit to all the training at a time. It wasn't. She's not disgruntled. I told her she can come back anytime she wants, but as for now, she's turned all her stuff in.
Good.
Alright, talked about the Hummer. And I got I forgot to bring it with me. We got quotes on new firearms for, it would be 4 of them, but I forgot to bring it, so we can talk about that next meeting. And I'll email that to you guys. And we did our new taser training, so as soon as we get our holsters, they will be in service. And as far as we talked about, we had a budget discussion, we talked about either 2 full-time or 2 part-time or a full-time person. I talked to Joe the other day. The reason we talked about part-time is because since the city doesn't offer insurance, we thought it might be easier to get part-time people. But since the word's traveled that we might be looking, we've had some inquiries on the full-time position, that people that wouldn't need health insurance.
They would not.
They would not.
Retired from somewhere else?
No, actively working somewhere
Oh,
else.
okay.
But, at least the calls that I've had. So my question is, when do we want to, how do we wanna advertise if we're gonna hire, when are we gonna hire? So forth.
What's do we have the budget?
Yeah, I think.
Is it in for next year?
Yeah.
For another officer?
Yeah, we already have it in. We budgeted for another full-time, part-time guy. A full salary for a part-time guy, I'll say. And we had extra on the end of the other 2 guys, on the other part-time guys' salaries. We still had extra money there. So we talked about definitely one part-time guy, possibly 2 with the salary left over from the other guys, depending on how much they work. But I think then instead of doing that, just use that budgeted money for that part-time officer. Throw that money plus the leftover we had from the other guys to a full-time. And if we need to appropriate more, we can do an additional appropriation in June.
I think, well, when you and I talked, you said that it would work out for scheduling, right?
Yeah, don't get me wrong, any help's gonna be greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
And help out. Full-time would be better. I can pretty much set their schedule. Part-time, you're kinda limited. Like my 2 guys now, they both have jobs during the day. So they work 4 to midnight,
Yeah.
which, that's fine, but I can't have, I couldn't have like 4 part-time guys working 4 to midnight. On different rotations, it's
Right.
but I don't know how we would advertise. And all the people that have contacted me, they've already been through the academy, so, I think we could advertise as a lateral transfer, because they're going from one entity to another. Which that would, if we did that, then that would knock out, somebody that's, oh man, I wanna be a police officer, I'm gonna apply. That would kinda knock that out.
Yeah. Save us a bunch of money from sending them down to the.
Be gone for 6 months.
So if you already have a guy that wants to get hired in, do you still have to post for it?
Yeah, I've had a couple different inquiries, so, I can't just go out and pick somebody. We have to we have to take resumes, do
Gotcha.
all the testing, and you guys have to do the interviews and.
Yeah.
I mean, it's out, you know, once you start the hiring process, I'm out of it. You know, I can do the testing, but as far as interviews, you know, the board.
So is this something we would want to start somebody full-time January 1?
Yeah, I
Is that what
think-
you're thinking?
I that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Because it seems like it'd be.
That'd be perfect timing.
We can
Get
do that.
John right back and get another guy back.
Yep.
Or another guy in, be perfect timing.
Then we'll have 3 full-timers, including you, and then 2 part-timers. I think that'd be.
We still had the whole salary from John that we didn't use up for 3 months. You could start now,
Absolutely.
and you could burn up the rest of that, because there's still lots of money in that appropriation that you can.
Well, by the
Well,
time, you know,
as soon as
Time
we
to
get
get everybody
an
in here, it's gotta be,
applications and interviews. And,
Get somebody in, yeah.
yeah, it'll be end of the year anyways. So.
Yeah.
yeah, the soonest you probably could have somebody hired, I'd say toward the end of December. You know, because if you take.
Well, if you had to do any training or anything like that, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
could bring them on.
if you take applications for 30 days or whatever, I don't know if there's a statute on it, how long you have to advertise, if it's 2 weeks or.
Does Tim have did he pass along any records like from other, because we had interview questions and.
Oh, I mean, there's everything that's in here.
Okay.
I'm sure there's something in here trying to find it.
It'd be nice to use the same format as we did last time.
Well, we can make inquiries too with the local police department to the west. If you know what I'm talking about and what they use for questions.
Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely.
Because I brought some from the fire department and we kind of changed some things around.
There might be something in their file
Mhm.
too. Maybe if you had printed something off and filled it out.
And I
As
can
the
look through-
interviews
I can
go.
look
We've
down
hired,
there
yeah.
too, because
Yeah.
it was pretty, we had bought a written test, a written police test, and I've still got a bunch of those
Gotcha.
that are certified, so.
But I mean, just trying to find anything in here is kind of tough, and it's a big pile of documents, and you're going, okay, where do I?
We have enough vehicles? Or 2 of the part-time guys gonna have to share one?
They probably share,
Okay.
you know, or it'd be a thing, you know, could we keep, you know, we're looking to get rid of Grant's vehicle next year. You know,
We keep
do we
it
hold
with
on
the
to
new one
that for a
coming?
little bit longer?
It's the 17 Explorer.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
Yeah, we budgeted in for that, for a new one.
and I'm still working on quotes for that, those,
Okay.
they're not very responsive to returning phone calls or emails, but.
I'm sorry, my mind was on the next subject. Did you ask about another police vehicle? Because we'll have another officer, is that what you asked about? Okay. I don't know, can you make what we have work, or would we have to add another vehicle?
Yeah, well, like I said, if we're gonna, you know, hopefully get a new vehicle next year,
Yeah.
hold on to grants for a little bit, see how that works out,
Okay.
you know. And maybe, probably not give it to a full-time, well, I don't know. We can make it work.
Okay. All right. I mean, if it's gonna be tough, I mean, you know, it sounds like we potentially would be able to afford it, maybe a year or 2 down the road, but yeah, add another vehicle.
I mean, I would say give the new vehicle to full-time guys. They're gonna be driving it the most.
Yeah.
Let the part-time guys drive the vehicles that are higher miles, less wear and tear on them anyway.
How many miles does that 2017 have on it?
120 something.
Plus a lot of engine hours then.
What's that?
A lot of engine hours.
A lot of idling on it.
Yeah. And then John's is the next highest mileage vehicle. The 2021, he's got more miles than the 2020.
Point in case.
Huh?
Point in case. Yeah. Is that at the shop, or he has that?
No, it's in our garage.
Okay.
All right.
But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Do you wanna work on an advertisement, or
Yeah,
I can give you some ideas, or?
I'm assuming we just put it out on the website, right? It's not, we gotta put it on Indeed or
Do
anything like
you
that.
have access
Paper?
to the police?
Yeah, could Christine maybe ask McCracken, Officer McCracken? McCracken, is that his name?
Phil?
They got a new one.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Yeah,
New police chief.
Christine could give me a posting.
Okay. She's got my email. I mean, she just sent over, you know, the bill for Q3. So
Do you wanna word it as a lateral transfer full-time?
It's up to you guys.
If it works better to have full-time for you to do that, yeah, whatever you think.
Well, I'm just thinking if we put lateral in there, that, you know, like I said, we cut out the.
They're already, they don't have to go to ILEA. Right.
And if you look on the academy's website, there's this long of job postings, and most of them are lateral transfers, just because of today's world, they wanna get you in and get you working.
Right.
That'd be good, that's the best of both worlds. Go through the,
Plus, we can even
Academy
advertise
process.
for free on their website, we can put it up there, you know, put it up there for maybe, 2 weeks? I don't think there's a state law on how long you have to,
Probably put it in the paper too, I would assume.
I'll ask
I don't know.
Paper, website, none there?
Well, let's check in the legalities of what we have to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me check, I'll check with Christine tomorrow,
okay,
Okay.
and I'll email you guys.
sounds good.
Other than that, that's all I have.
So, kind of getting back to the Humvee, is that something do we want to keep it, or we just want to get it running and sell it? Or,
We could, and-
it's been so long, Mayor, I don't remember what is the purpose of that?
So, I think,
Randy.
Chief, Duhamel, former Chief Duhamel, he got it, cause he was big on, you know, prepping and all this stuff, emergency planning and all this stuff, I think that's why he got it. We didn't buy it, we got it free from the government, you know,
Oh, surplus?
government
Yeah.
surplus.
So it's not something we can sell then?
You know,
We
I don't
can.
think we can.
After so many years,
Yeah,
isn't it so many years? You
Yeah,
can-
that's right,
We-
yeah.
yeah, we have since gotten out of that because there was so much reporting that we had to do on that. We
Yeah.
got out of that last year. But I inquired to her, you know, what do we do with all the stuff we have? And she says, it's yours. You either have to sell it, auction, you can't give it away.
We could do that, I mean, I was kinda thinking, you know,
But I don't know if we.
painting it up would be a good parade vehicle, or,
Yeah.
I mean, it would come in handy if we needed it for something, but,
Yeah, but if it's gonna run, I mean,
yeah, if
where
it's gonna
are you
run,
gonna
yeah.
keep, if you get it running, where do you keep it at? Obviously, you don't have room, so you gotta
Yeah.
keep it down there. Does
And do-
Ryan have room?
And do we have to register it every year and all that stuff, yeah,
No, you shouldn't have to do that, right?
Mm-mm.
no?
It's a police vehicle.
No, once you register, it's once it's.
Oh,
It's
yeah, yeah,
lifetime.
yeah.
I don't even
But
know, I don't even know if there's a title to that thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. We need to know whether there's a title.
Title, insurance,
Well, we've gone, what, 5-6 years, not even
Thinking
mentioning
about it,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah, really,
It's back.
you know, it's one of those things, if you haven't done anything with it in the last 6 months, you probably should get rid of it.
I mean, you think about what they're having to do in, Tennessee and North Carolina. I mean, that's what Randy, who was planning that all for,
Yeah.
is a disaster like that,
Yeah.
30 inches of rain.
Yeah.
And flooding, I mean,
It's just like, I said, it's sat outside for 5 or 6 years at Deal's house, so I don't.
Is there even a top on it?
Yeah.
Is there a top on it?
Yeah, it's got a hard top and the back's like canvas, that thing's shot.
I don't know, it's just fix it up locally, I mean, we're talking
I think we're
John.
gonna have to try to put an alternator and batteries in there, see what happens.
Let's try that, see if it runs.
I wouldn't invest a lot of money in it. though.
No. But I think it's worth putting a battery.
Rainy
in
day
alternator.
for John Drury to work on, and
Yeah,
It's
Brian's not here, but
Yeah,
Or
it's
Chris,
It's
maybe.
sitting outside now, I imagine they wanna, if they got room, put it inside somewhere, but.
Chris
if he doesn't
wants to
have
work on it.
room, you know, obviously Ryan's not here, but if he doesn't have room, say, let's get rid of it.
We still have those old generators out there too, on those trailers.
Are they, okay, are they part of the agreement?
We got the
They get-
surplus for those too, yeah.
That they get serviced semi-annually?
No.
I don't think,
they've ever been touched.
well,
Don't even know if they run, do we?
thing about it is, we didn't have a backup generator for City Hall then either. So that would definitely would be something I think we could get rid of.
Yeah.
Those,
There's 2 of them out there.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you say, they haven't been sitting there, who knows if they even run, start up. We got them for free.
That's all I have.
Yeah.
I'll get with you tomorrow, Kevin.
Alright. We were talking about, and I haven't heard from Ryan, I just thought he was out of town. We haven't heard about, we haven't really talked about the budget as far as, putting money aside for the water tower. You think 150 is doable per year?
To set off,
To pay for, to put towards a new water tower.
yeah, so we're just talking about taking money out of an account and putting it into another account. I'm not exactly sure what the process is. I mean,
Okay.
we have 2 other accounts that we don't operate out of.
Mhm.
Our daily operating stuff comes out of one bank,
Mhm.
and we have other bank accounts that have money in it that's just getting interest on it.
I think it has to come out of, doesn't it have to come out of, waterworks money?
I'm not sure how any of that works.
Okay.
I'm not sure how we would.
Cause we talked about that last meeting and didn't seem like it'd be a problem,
I'm not sure.
You might wanna-
You know, if you have extra money from the utility, we can do whatever we want with it.
yeah.
I mean, we could take all the money from the water and sewer and spend it on anything we want at any time.
Well, I mean,
It doesn't have to be
Uh,
approved or.
still wanna have the money, budgeted for normal, what we have for maintenance and things like that, I don't wanna take any of that money, or if we have a water main break, that money, I don't wanna
Yeah.
take that money either.
Well, we have to have a certain amount of money in there for
Yeah.
like a reserve
Yeah,
for things.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, we could get with FSG and have them kind of look everything over and say, here's how much money you can take out at the end of the year. Get to the end of the year and say, this is how much we spent. How much can we put? How much can we just take and put away?
Well, Brian was talking about Harlan got a new water tower through the county. Is that something we can contact the county commissioners on? And you got the money for.
they used ARPA, the ARPA money from
Okay.
the COVID relief.
Yeah.
They give out,
Yeah.
they gave the county 72 million, and we got $500,000 from the county.
Yeah.
Water tower wasn't on my radar when they were talking about it, and now all the money's committed to.
Oh, it's,
I reached out to them, all the money's committed to, so we don't have that. They used ARPA money in Harlan
okay.
for that, so.
So
Is there
maybe
any other type of grants we can go
yeah,
after?
I was gonna say.
Yeah, well, so you're talking $1 million project probably for a water tower, and I starting to do a little bit of research and finding out that we could probably get away with somewhere around 300,000 and get like a 75-25 grant through Okra or some other means. There are funding mechanisms. I sort of have it in the back of my mind that we could potentially, our put in should be around 300,000, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. That's kind of why I was sort of like thinking about maybe putting away 125, 150 a year for a couple of years, and in the meantime start to look at a grant possibly through Okra or another form, or maybe even the Indiana Bond Bank, like we used to get the
Oh, that's
the
a street sweeper.
Yeah,
Shoot, that was sweet.
yeah, and we didn't have to worry about rates or anything. So possibly if we get a loan from the Indiana
Yeah.
Bond Bank to do that,
You're
something like
thinking
that.
the location will be close to the one we have now?
Behind it, or
Yeah,
south of it?
I want to put it in the same property and assemble that one while the other one is still operating, and then
Transfer it over?
transfer it over.
That makes sense to me. That way you don't have to, you think about buying ground and then all the infrastructure,
Yeah.
the piping to get to it.
Yeah.
It would be, to me, would be much
just a
simpler to
quick
do here.
hookup, yeah.
I could be wrong, but
Yes. I
common
agree.
sense tells you it would be cheaper to hook it up there.
Yeah, cause if we're gonna decommission that one anyway, then you have the expense of decommissioning all that, you know.
And is there any way, I know Goodrich sold theirs years ago, if you remember the water tower, and we're
Oh, yeah, I
talking,
remember that.
they sold it to the town of Ossian. Could you get any money selling it to another town?
Oh, I don't know.
The current
I
water
don't
tower?
know, that's a possibility,
You know, so
certainly.
for 100,000 or whatever
Certainly a
to
possibility.
take off,
Yeah,
I know you have to disassemble it, you just can't drop it.
right.
Yeah.
Disassemble it, but I mean, that's something that would, I don't know. Somebody would want it, maybe,
Maybe, that's certainly a possibility
you
also.
know, in a small town in this area,
Yeah.
1, 2 add on to the water, you know, water in the air. But maybe all they need is 150 more in the air.
These are all good ideas and good for the discussion, as we start this process, but I think we can't wait any longer. We have to start pursuing this
I
and
agree.
answer those
Agree,
questions that you
yes.
just asked, so we have a plan 3 years out to be able to pay for one,
Yeah.
so. We have enough capacity for all the homes coming in, but if we get a potential, you know, if a big water user wants to come into the,
Yeah.
I hate to tell somebody no again, just because we can't, don't have the capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you get a grant on that, I don't see, I mean, I think we'd have the money to pay for that.
The thing about Okra grants is, you have to have a threshold, your average household income has to be below a certain amount to qualify. And the last time we did a survey to try to get a grant from Okra, our income was too high. So the average household income was too high, so. But there's other ways, there's many different ways.
Can't imagine that's gonna go down with all the new houses.
Yeah, no, it's-
I know,
yeah,
it's crazy.
I feel it's gonna go up.
It's crazy. But that puts us up there too, because our growth is so
Mhm.
great.
And they could change the threshold, they probably change the threshold every year to a certain amount too.
Our growth is so great that a small city like ours, that might bump us up on the point scale.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow, positive meeting, that's good stuff.
What's that?
Positive meeting.
Yes.
So I think we should maybe look at the end of the year and ask FSG, say, look at this and see how much money we have over, cause we're definitely gonna spend less than what our budget was, I know that.
Mhm.
And so, look at that and then take that money and transfer it over to one of these other banks that we're getting the higher interest rates on.
Yep.
That way it still gets some interest, 150 or whatever, until 2 years.
Mhm.
That way it's just giving us extra money on it if it's just gonna sit there anyway.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we can save enough up for like I say, I don't know if we need 300,000. We might need more. We might need less. But I just kind of put that number out there.
oh, but still, if you need more, 100,000 more, you know,
Yeah.
you're not down 500,000.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you're not college pants down. Just
Exactly. We still have the ability to do that, and but there's no stomach for raising rates. So I'm gonna do everything I can to not have to do that.
no, them guys at Baker Tilly said they said we're real good. They said a lot of them people that they've started with the new year. That a lot of people, you know, a lot of the clerk treasurers will come in. They've done the study, that FMR that we did, and they've had to raise 100% on their rates on some of these utilities because they're so far behind.
Yeah,
And they said we're real good.
that's the way we
So-
were 9 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, and we had some very hard to swallow increases over the past few years, but now we're right there, like you said. So that's a good segue into. I did crack the door open with the financial advisor about the hydrant issue. I did crack that door open, so I finally had that discussion with him, and I also had the discussion with him about redoing the sewer rates and having an out-of-city rate and an in-city rate. So I've been compiling some data estimated new homes. Also, I think you, did you put something in, you put something in the, agenda that has a 3-year lookout for rates? 3-year growth
Three-year
deal?
growth.
Yeah,
That is for, that would be for council, that is the tax levy.
tax levy.
That's that 3-year lookout that, we had been talking about.
Yep.
So you can see on there, I could pull up mine real quick, hold on. What was
Wow.
that called? What was the name of that? 3-year growth appeal?
3-year growth appeal.
So yeah, so you can see on here, this is how much change we've had each year. The 12% is what we grew. The statewide growth is only 8.72. It puts us at 3.3 above what the state was. On the second page, you can see this rate, this general rate for 24. The total is 0.4923. That's what we're currently at. If we did not do this levy, if we don't submit this appeal, it will go down to this 0.4364. And if we do it, it still gets lower than what it is right now. It just goes down to 0.4700.
Okay.
So, but that leaves us, I think it's $23,100 more dollars that we'll get since we grew. And taxes and the tax rate still goes down for everybody, so we get more money and taxes go down.
Is it, so this would be just like for the first year?
You could do this every year, and then when our new rate, when that'll be our, whatever our rate is now, that's what the new threshold will be, and then next year you'll look at it and go, how much did you grow?
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. That's good.
Or, yeah, the city's maximum levy could increase by $23,100. And there's also this other thing right here, the CCD, which I don't know, I guess, I don't know if they stopped doing it or what the deal was, but there's nothing budgeted for it or something. And so they were talking about reestablishing a CCD budget to get money in for that. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but yeah, this has to be passed by council that we're good to do this, which we've been talking about it anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But it gives everybody a chance to see, you can see how much we've grown.
Yep.
And compared to the state.
Yep. So, yeah.
12%. I guess it's an average. You can see 24 or 23 was 18.57. That's huge. So the average growth is only 12%, but look how much it's drugged down by 22.
But I can see that same growth for the next 3 years.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Definitely.
Well, you'd like to see what it is, look back at this in
Yeah.
3 years and see what this looks like. And
Yeah. Yeah.
you're probably gonna hit a, 14, 15, or something, 3 higher numbers like that. It's gonna be.
Because that's not
Up
counting
there.
the homes we're annexing in. We're going to be annexing in the next 2 or 3 years too.
Oh yeah, it doesn't count. It won't count any of that stuff.
Yep. So.
Oh, plus any houses that I don't know. Are these guys? These guys aren't. Are these both done already? Fully done?
That one's done. It
What?
is.
This one's done over here. I think there's one more they had to build.
Homestead.
Yes,
And over here, they're done up there too.
phase one.
Phase 1 is done. They're just,
Oh,
they
they
got
just cracked
phase
the door
two
on this
already.
section right here.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Drives are all in, aren't
This
they?
part's all done. They just laid the pavement for these. So 44 new homes in this section. This section was 46. So yeah.
Oh.
So anyway, I'm very, very strong about doing that, sewer lookout again. Definitely.
Yeah, they said a couple more years. I think that was what they said for the rate study or whatever. Forget what they said, 27 or 28 or something like that. That we'd want to do another rate study. That they said they thought that we were pretty good out till then.
Yeah.
So
All
2-3 more years.
Sounds good. Since Ryan's not here, Mark, did you have anything? Kevin? Good.
What happened on the Stanley steamer? I can't open it up.
Oh, the Stanley steamer, yeah, that's right, that happened since the last meeting, didn't it? So, they hooked up the water meter that they hooked up, it was leaking, the connection.
Our
was
guys
leaking,
hooked it up.
And our guys hooked it up. So they had to have Stanley steamer come out, and I just said, go ahead and, you know,
Yeah, we'll take care of
do
it.
it, and that's what the email was about, so, go ahead and just pay for it. It's like $400 bill or something like that,
Yeah.
It's 572.
$572.
I was glad I didn't mess up anything.
Yep, yep,
More.
brand new house, yeah,
Yes.
I know.
Start messing the drywall up or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
Buckling floors and,
Right, right. Did we pay that already, or do we have to approve it?
That'll be tonight.
It's
We'll approve
payables,
it.
okay,
Yeah.
got it, so. All right. The only other thing is, I'm looking at, and this, I'm gonna talk to council also, I'm looking at changing the way we, do the shut-offs. Right now, we do the shut-offs after almost 90 days of the first delinquency. According to our ordinance, it says, once it is 2 months late, 2 months delinquent, then
they're shut off.
they're shut off.
Yeah.
So I look at that as, let's say, with the exception of the grace we're giving residents because of the changeover with the new utility billing and all that, and we had to pause for a month on the automatic. With the exception of that, let's say the bill you owe in July is due on July 15th. If you don't pay it on July 15th, July 16th, it's delinquent. So, that's delinquent for that whole month, right? So let's say you go and still don't pay to August 15th, and then, come August 16th, according to ordinance, it's delinquent. That's 2 months delinquent.
Get shut off.
August 16th, it could get shut off. Right now, what we're doing is we're like, for example, use the same example, wait till August 16th. Now we're gonna go send them a notice that we're gonna shut you off in 2 weeks if you don't pay. Now they're into 90 days, you know? I'm very animate about getting that knocked down. So I'm gonna talk to council about them, interpreting the ordinance the same way as me, if they interpret it the same way as me, so. The reason why I'm talking to you is because technically in the ordinance also, a resident is supposed to bring it up to Board of Works, you know, but, council is the same too, you know, we can bring it up to council too, but.
Do we have a lot of them?
We started off the month with 52,
Wow.
and we're down to 10, right? 10
Yeah.
shut-offs?
7 before she left. I think it
Seven.
was down to 7.
Down to 7, so, yeah, it's getting ridiculous. I think it's getting ridiculous.
I think so once you hit the 60 day, once she hits the 60 days, the 2 months, they'll shut off the week before the next billing cycle. So really, right now it's 2 months and 3 weeks, where really we could shut off right at 2 months.
Mhm.
So I don't know how much time we have to give them that we're gonna shut them off, but the way the ordinance sounds is that on the day that you're delinquent for the second month, you can be shut off.
Yeah.
It's considered delinquent once the due date elapses.
Yeah, the day, yeah, if it's not
But-
paid on or before.
Yeah,
So you're talking about the June water bill that's due
In
July
July.
15th?
yeah. I'm just use that as an example, a timeline example, so.
Yeah, so someone that didn't pay in June, they would get June to July, July to August, and then 3 weeks past the August bill, put you all the way out in September. You'd be right now. So someone had a late bill from June, they'd be getting shut off this week. Their bill from June would be getting, that they got on June 15th, they'd be getting shut off this month, right? Or last month.
Last month,
Oh.
September?
Unless,
June, July. Yeah, last month, I'm sorry. So a bill that you got in June would be shut off in September, basically. You get 2 months, 3 weeks. It's almost 3 months away is what we're
Yeah.
giving them now.
unless they interpret the delinquency as 30 day, 60 days delinquent, which would be, you know, the 16th of July, using that example, would be 1 day delinquent, not a whole month delinquent, so.
Right.
Unless they're,
I didn't think about that.
yeah, so, I'll see how council.
Well, it
interprets
says 2 months. Yeah, let's say 2 bills delinquent.
So it could be actually 90 days.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
so.
Right when that billing cycle would hit, you'd be 60 days delinquent from that first one.
Yeah,
You'd be in the delinquency for 60 days.
yeah. So,
That
Alright.
may be a lawyer question.
yeah, I know. And because, it might be state law too.
Yeah.
State law might, so. But anyway, I just think it's ridiculous to have 40, 50 some every single month shut offs, and then you send them notices and then they finally come in and pay. I just think that's kinda ridiculous. And that's the way we've been doing it for quite some time, and, since,
My next question is, how is the software set up
For what?
for that? Does that generate that?
Does
Or
it
do you
tell
get-
you who's delinquent? Yeah. Yeah, she can just come in and run a report and see who's delinquent and who's not.
What if our interpretation of the ordinance changes, we'll have to change it in the software?
I'm sure you can just enter in
Yeah, true.
I think you can just
True.
pull up the settings and enter in what you want. If some places allowed more, I'm sure you can just add in
Okay.
whatever dates you want. It's something you probably just have to call up to the software company and have them change. But they just remote in and
Okay.
change things for you, and as long as you're sitting there with them. Or maybe she just pulls the list and it just tells you who hasn't paid yet too. Maybe she does that. Maybe it's not necessarily delinquency list. Maybe she pulls the list and she knows that these people haven't paid so far and the bill's coming up, so she knows herself. It may not be technically a report in the system. Or she just keeps track on her own. I did see she had a
yeah, I don't think
Sheets.
that the 10% or 20% or whatever we add on to the bill when it's late, I don't think that would change. But, alright, I don't have anything else. Anybody from the audience?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Alright.
Go ahead.